welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Jeannie Lynch coming to you from Mean Jean 1963. I appreciate our time together today. I'm in the middle of a workshop series at the Women's Resource Center here in Venice, and I have to tell you I'm a little surprised at how many people down here really don't know what the law of attraction is. And in my getting ready to teach it, I thought I would go out and do a little research and be ready for the naysayers out there. And I think since The Secret and Oprah and all the books, Think and Grow Rich, Esther and Jerry Hicks, Wayne Dwyer, Deepak Chopra, I could go on and on and on. I just think there's been so much talk about it that, you know, obviously there's been people out there who've said that it doesn't exist and it's sorcery and witchcraft, and, you know, I could go on and on. I just can't emphasize enough. I thought I'd maybe share a quick story about how the law of attraction came to me and let you know that sometimes it's just the timing. So when I had first lost my daughter, one of my friends gave me this book, Sylvia Brownie, and it was Blessings from the Other Side. And it was my first book really into the spiritual realm. And when I was reading it, I was in the process of reading it, and I came to this point in the book where it talked about how everything in my experience was there because I willed it there, or because I intended it there, and it was a life contract. And I remember in the moment of my grief, that I took the book and I kind of like threw it across the room, just so angry that someone could write something. Of course, based on where I was in my experience, that wasn't something I really wanted to hear or accept in that moment. So, you know, life went on, right? My grieving process continued to take place. And a couple months later, I was vacuuming, and I happened to go behind the couch. You know, we don't do that all the time, but this one day, behind the couch. And the vacuum actually sucked back in the book that had been thrown and landed behind the couch. And when I sat back down, you know, I was kind of curious what page I was on and what made me throw it. It had been months earlier. And I read it, and I just read it completely different. So what I will say about the law of attraction, and I'm going to talk about that in today's workshop or today's video, is that it really is about the timing. So I'm going to move you closer to understanding what that means in a minute. So the other story I wish to share with you, which is also about timing, again, was having a really rough day. This is 10 years ago, in the process of grieving, praying to God, just help me get through the day. And one of my customers that day came in, and he, in the middle of our business meeting, admitted to me that he was feeling completely overwhelmed with this sense of grief and just couldn't hold it together. And he explained to me that he was an empath, and of course at the time that meant nothing to me. It means everything to me today. It was somebody who has the ability to take on other people's pain. And I had said nothing to this man about where I was in my experience, but he was just feeling such tremendous grief. So I, of course, in that moment, once he told me what he was experiencing and how he was feeling and how actually sick he felt about it, that it was just such a burden for him to have, he admitted to me. I explained to him that, of course, I had lost my daughter and it was probably me, and we had this beautiful connection in my office. And later on that day, he brought me a CD, and the CD was Abraham Hicks, Esther and Jerry Hicks, The Teachings of Abraham, and it was the introduction CD. And, you know, it's the whole premise of the law of attraction on this one CD that you can get. And my funny story is that, you know, here I am thinking my prayers are answered, and on the way home from work that day, I put the CD in, and I started to listen to the whole idea of Esther and Jerry Hicks' work, and I quickly ejected it out of my car, took the CD, like threw it to the back of my car, and again, thought that truly wasn't for me. None of it made sense. It sounded Japanese. I couldn't understand a word. It meant nothing to me. It didn't resonate at all. Couple months later, back to the vacuum, busy vacuuming up things that I should have paid attention to. It's just funny, I just realized that both have that in common in this story. I was cleaning out my car and I was vacuuming, and the CD got sucked up into the vacuum, and there I was with the CD. I put it back into my car, And as I finished cleaning my car that day, my life was truly changed. So, point is this. When we hear about the law of attraction, which again I will get into and explain, it really is timing, right? And I think it's where we are in relation to what we're intending that makes it seem so impossible. So today we are going to talk about the law of attraction. And something that came to me on a bike ride the other day, and I thought might be a great way to share it here on my YouTube channel, is if you take a piece of paper, and I just really want you to write a straight line straight across. And today, just for the illustration and having it make sense to you, I want you to put relationships, finance, and career or passion, however you define that. And what I want you to do is I want you to put, if this is the low end, this is the middle, and this is the high. On each one of these, where do you fall? In relation to where you are to where you want to be. And I did it in color so that I could see it, and I thought I would show you mine. So this makes sense. And again, this is just to have it make sense to you. Hopefully you can see this. So on mine, where I am in relation to my actual goal, and goals should always forever expand and change, by the way. So we're always changing. We're shifting. So your goal is something that's moving. But if I had to think about where I was on the three things that we talked about, relationship, my career, and my finance, where I am in relation, I really am close to my goal on all of them. The only reason that I'm here, well, I'm currently not working, but I'm certainly doing my passion, which is yoga and helping people through my spiritual practice. So I'm so connected on that side. I am doing my passion. And finance, I'm secure and I feel secure and I'm safe. And on relationship, I'm right up there with goal. What would be the goal? You know, I'm always looking to improve my relationship, so there's always room for growth and love, right? So point is this. Where are you in relation to where your goal is? And I'm going to say that I'm almost positive that the people who are far away from what they're intending are the naysayers of the law of attraction. And I would guess to say that the people who are on more than the middle, you know, on the other side of it and close to their goals are people who live and understand the law of attraction. So what is the law of attraction? The law of attraction is truly being in alignment and working on your vibration to move you closer. So let's say in your chart, you were somewhere at the very end or at the low end on your goals from where you want to be. If I was coaching you, what I would tell you is to take those three things, an example today of the relationships, the career, and the finance, and I would write down things that will move you in the direction that you're looking to be. So it might be a small step. It might be paying off one bill. It might be telling your friend that you're sorry for something that you did that's keeping the relationship distant. It could be anything, but a move instead of no move is a move. So what happens is the closer you move to being in alignment with your actual goal, the higher you're vibrating, and the closer you are, the faster it comes. And it's just being in connection with what we're intending. So if I am tremendously in debt and I carry the burden of bankruptcy and feeling terrible about my finances and the rest of it, but yet I want to be a millionaire living by the ocean, I am so far away from that goal that I couldn't possibly create the vibrational frequency that would line me up to that. But I could start making moves to eliminating the debt to get me closer. So I'm just trying to illustrate that today in this thought process of drawing a line and drawing it out. So it's a start, it is an example, and I really hope that if you're someone who has no idea what the law of attraction is, that you look it up. Like attracts alike, right? We've heard things like we reap what we sow. There's so many other things. And the other thing that I just want to end with is the idea that if something as terrible is happening in your life right now, that you brought it in. And I just want to do my little take on that, on the naysay aspect of that. I do believe that we come here to do some pretty incredible soul work. And let's give an example of the story that my daughter, right? Every mother fears that they'll lose their child. So I don't think I'm alone on that. We drop them off at school and we wonder and we worry, and anything can happen, right? We watch the news every night. We know that to be the case. I have that energy and had that energy. So, when my daughter passed, did I bring it into my energy? I just think that is such a defeatist, negative way to look at it. Instead, my choice, and what I'm asking other people to imagine, is that whatever you're going through right now that is bringing you such heartache, and you can't possibly imagine that you would have wrote this in, that you realize that you did and that you're obviously trying to learn, and you're trying to be blessed, and you're trying to find grace. And there's so many beautiful things that have happened as a direct result of my daughter passing that has enriched my life, and I wouldn't change for anything. So I accept that, I understand that, and I'm blessed having received it that way. I use the law of attraction to focus on the things that I can control and the way in which we go through them. So I hope that means something to someone out there, and someone's here.